Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Super Mike 2164. Yeah, waking up, waking up, waking up, waking up. Yeah, are you that somebody? Roe versus Wade. Ah, ah. It's a victory, y'all. Yeah. So I want to talk about this morning. We're going to get into it. We've gotten into it before, but, you know, some of these states have actually gone ahead and passed these, said that when the Supreme Court basically said that Roe versus Wade, it's not the constitutional right. It's not a constitutional right. And so you don't have a right to just kill your seed. So we'll get into a little bit of that today, guys. Press the thumbs up, share the message. Go ahead, let me know what's up, say what's going on, what's up with everybody. Like I said, you can share it on Facebook, you can share it on all your social media platforms. And this song is kind of apropos because this is Aaliyah, Are You That Somebody? And I just want to read the lyrics. Let's see if we can do that. Let me see if I can read these lyrics. Very important. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, wrong. Okay, let's see. Wrong page. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Hold on. So there's a reason why Aaliyah had that baby in the background. See, because that's what happens. She said, boy, I've been watching you like the hawk in the sky, that fly, like you were my prey. I promise you that if we keep bumping heads, I know that one of these days, I can't say it right, so I'm going to cut the music down because I can't sing it. I can't do the karaoke thing, guys. But I just want y'all to see these lyrics that she's talking about. She said, one of these days, she's been watching the dude. Okay, so I know that if we keep bumping heads, I know that one of these days, if we gonna hook up, probably we talk on the phone, but I don't know if that's good. I've been holding back this secret from you, probably shouldn't tell you, but if I let you know, she don't want to tell nobody, okay, we know that part, that's the hook. Let me go to the goody, naughty, say no. So bottom line is, it's going to be some babies out of this here. But guess what she was doing? She was holding back. She's watching the dude, but she's holding him back. Why did the girls in the 90s hold back? Because of baby. And even though the abortion was clean, okay, at that point in time, we still had the residue from the culture prior to the legal and legal advertisement of abortions as birth control. So people still had to shoot game real hard. Women were they took a little bit more time to investigate people because you got to deal with a baby. And is this guy responsible? You know, I'm not talking about nobody. Are you responsible? That's part of her song. Are you responsible? You know, this stuff here, we got to understand this, guys, because we can't depend on the state here to take care of us. So let me play this part. Keep in mind, this is Roe versus Wade. This whole system of aborting, making it cool to legally abort your children. You know, the white people, they thought that the black folks was going to use this more. That's what they were trying to do. This is Margaret Sanger. That was her. That's how we know this is what they thought. They wrote it when they didn't know that we were going to have access to it. We don't want the word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. And they wanted to exterminate the so-called hillbilly type whites as well. Now, when people have a society like a eugenics society, they don't just go away. They raise other people to take their place. This is an organized effort. So it's a eugenics movement. And it's been going on for at least 100 years. And even Frederick Douglass knew about it. So Frederick Douglass and them knew about this thing. And I'm going to play this here real quick. Hold on a second. Let's do this. Oh, man. Hold on. That's not the spot where I want it. Right here.
The greatest misfortune.
Ancient Swahili word. It's called the Ma'afa. And it began when the first Africans were shackled to the bottom of a slave ship. But the irony is that it did not end when the slaves were freed. In fact, it hasn't ended yet. And as you're about to see, a hidden racial agenda is keeping the Ma'afa alive into the 21st century.
What shall be done with the 4 million slaves if they are emancipated? This question has been answered and can be answered in many ways. Primarily, it is a question less for man than for God, less for human intellect than for the laws of nature to solve. Our answer is, do nothing with them. Mind your business and let them mind theirs. Your doing with them is the greatest misfortune. They have been undone by your doings, and all they now ask and really have need of at your hands is just to let them alone. Frederick Douglass, 1862.
It is the stupidity of man to think that he can do evil, even some monstrous evil, and it won't have any backlash on himself. But of course, it seldom works that way, and the moment he figures that out, he starts looking for a way to avoid the repercussions of what he's done.
So the white man is right there telling you. He's telling you the mentality of his own people. This is what this man is telling you here. They have been trying to undo. They're trying to get rid of accountability. This is what they do not want. We're talking about reparations. We're talking about the sins that have been committed against us. You know, these folks did never wanted to be accountable. You know, black folks love talking about accountability. But when we talk about accountability, we talk about it in a way that's like a weapon. Like we are the only people that's supposed to be accountable, like our black folks. But, you know, white people or the people who have actually did evil, documented evil, you know, they don't have to be accountable. And then when you start trying to hold them accountable, it's like, oh, stop worrying about the white man, worry about yourself. Accountability works all ways. No, accountability, because we are the ones that have been accountable. And what they do is they put all this extra accountability on you, and you don't have to be and they don't have to be accountable, which allows them to look like they're superstars and able to outmaneuver you, and they're smarter than you. That's not happening no more. This thing with this Roe versus Wade, you got to realize these people are hyper focused on our children. When they Now keep in mind, you got different levels of white folks. You got a thing called white, where they call it white trash. These are people that, what's going on, everybody? What's up, James? Yeah. Yeah, he is. He is. He sure is, because he grew up as a white person. This guy is the spokesperson for white people. Yes, he is. And all white people are the spokespersons for white people. All black people are the spokespersons for black people. Chinese, same thing. As soon as you put one of them, if they grew up in that culture, they know each other. Yeah. He's an authority on being white. He's an authority on being white. Roe versus Wade, good job. It applies to the U.S., but unfortunately, it's projecting an agenda of folks who have influence in the U.S., and that agenda can stretch around the world, because the U.S. has influence around the world. For example, Henry Kissinger, he's the one who put out Memoranda 200 way back in 1974. And he made many statements. And we can go over some of them, not at this very second. But actually, you know what? I think I can find it. Memorandum 200. The Henry Kissinger. There we go. War creates constant flow of profits, rids the world of not a large number of useless eaters. War keeps people hating each other. But also, in 1974, I believe that's when they did the Roe versus Wade. These folks, that's what they wanted. They wanted to be able to control that population. And it was blacks, but it's not just blacks. There's certain populations, certain so-called undesirables. And, those undesirables may be something that people would want to control the size of. I think Margaret Sanger referred to some people as human weeds. They look at people as weeds. So the Declaration of Human Rights is the international agreement. Yeah, okay. So yeah, you got an agreement, but then of course we know that we always have things, done outside the agreement. And some people feel that they have they're exceptional. And what exceptional means sometimes with people, what exceptional can mean sometimes is that, the rules apply to you, not to me. The rules apply to you, not to me. And thanks, James. James is cool. He's putting some challenges to me, which is good. But the point is with this Roe versus Wade, I just want to put it out there. I think it's going to end up making people behave a little bit more responsibly. You're not able to just kill your kids. You have to sit there. You got to feed these kids. If you have these children, you should be happy to feed your children. You should love your children. And the fact that we got a lot of women out here, that's kind of hurting us. We got a lot of women that's into this propaganda that, you don't really need your children, or you should want to kill your children. They're not really alive. All of this type of propaganda. We got to throw away that stuff. And it's going to take us some years, because it took us years to get here to the mentality that we are at now. But you got so many people out here that believe that, it's okay to just murder your children in the womb, in utero. In utero. That's what's happening. So let me look at this. Let's move on to the next little subject here. I just want to go to this. Let me go to this. Hold on a second. We'll come back to this too. I want to go here. Let's go with this here. So this was June 24th, which is 3 days ago. Thousands protest the end of constitutional right to abortion. So this tells you that you're still going to be able to get your abortions in certain states, but the Constitution does not guarantee that right. All right. So this is going to allow, I believe, how many states? Let's see. Right. So these states here, so they got sanctuary states now for abortions. So say, where is abortion illegal? So here it is. Is abortion still legal in my state now that Roe versus Wade was overturned? Abortion was legal throughout the United States according thanks to this Roe versus Wade situation. But even before Roe versus Wade was overturned, abortion laws and restrictions varied by state. All right. So let's look at it. And this is a Planned Parenthood site. Keep in mind, Planned Parenthood is the organization started by Margaret Sanger. That's what Planned Parenthood is. What's going on, Koja? What's going on? So it's a woman's choice, or do women not get to that choice? I'm going to say that, yeah, it's a woman's choice. But the thing is, though, you're going to have to keep in mind, you can still get abortions. So it's your choice. But everybody else got choices, too. So they're going to make it harder because they want babies. They want babies. And, now talking about paying for the babies, feeding the babies. To me, I don't understand that argument because as people get their babies fed. People who want to get their babies fed, get their babies fed. Even the poorest people, especially in the United States, I've seen some of the poorest people, they get their babies fed. I was a poor child. We got fed. So, people, what's going to happen is you're going to have to make more responsible choices earlier. That's the issue. That's what's going to end up happening. And I don't see the world is not going to end. They're trying to make it seem like the world is going to fall apart. Everybody's going to just die or whatever. The world is not going to end. If you really, really want that abortion, you got plenty legal states right here. Planned Parenthood site tell you got to leave. If you're in your state, it's illegal there. Go to another one and get your abortion. Well, the thing is, you said now, the argument's changed. It's about safety for women. There's clinics in every state. If that child is going to harm that woman, if that child is going to harm that woman, then and the baby needs to be aborted because of the harm to the woman, then I'm sure they can have laws that handle that. But the bottom line is, they don't want people just willy-nilly using birth control abortion. You got Plan B pills. There's so many ways to responsibly take care of this without even worrying about this stuff. But what's happening is people are going here using these procedures, and I don't agree with it. Now, I'm someone who don't agree with it, but guess what? Law is not just for me to agree with or not. Law is a general application. People have choices still. The United States, you still have choices. Look at all these states that you can go to if you want to live in a state with legal abortion rights. That's the kind of stuff that you want to live around. Do that. But at the same time, what Roe versus Wade is doing is saying, which was just basic common sense, you don't have a constitutional right. That's what they're saying. It is not the Constitution. Right. And he says, no, that's true. Why are white men having to force white women to have babies? And that's true, because most of the people who are out at the protests are white people. There's white people out there wanting to kill these children because they're having these sex and they're using this stuff as birth control. It's going to force people to be a little bit more responsible. You're going to have to take extra steps. If you sit up here and stab yourself in the stomach just to kill a baby, maybe you were a little bit more off than people needed to be. You know what I'm saying? It's something else wrong. There's so many options you still have. So many options. This actually ruling is not going to do anything else. Better sexual education, all of this stuff. Yes, this is the way to go. More education, all that kind of stuff. Birth control methods. Yes. More responsibility on people. I really agree with that, because anytime you got to make a law for something, that means people are too stupid to just do it on their own. Why don't we just teach people where they can self-control? They can control themselves. And the thing is, I'm gonna tell you straight up. Even though, white people have done a lot of stuff in the world, but I don't necessarily need to see, white people just, go out of existence. And they have a real problem with their population numbers. They do. White people have a population number, a problem with having children. A lot of white people are getting born, going through their entire lives without doing their biological job. Their only biological job, is to actually create another person to continue your genes. And you don't want to continue your genes, that's an education that needs to happen right there. You need, you got to be educated to at least understand it, the value of continuing your own genetic line, your own genetic lineage. And that's something that people need to understand. But a lot of folks are opting to do things that don't create children. That's an issue. And, whatever. So the white people was like, we can't have this. We can't have this. The smart ones, they was like, no. They were like, we got to stop this abortion, because even though, yes, it's a lot of race mixers, all of that's fine. That's not really my issue. The issue is this. The motivation for this is bottom line. And I think Coach just said it, and I agree with that. And I played something. I actually got a clip, but I have to upload it. I don't feel like doing it. But the white guys, they have been saying this. Pat Buchanan, all of these different white people have been saying it for decades. They're like, listen, we are having less children than we need to have. We need to have at least every family, each man or woman has to have at least two. They got to replace themselves. That's your basic job. Have 2 kids. Let her take you to child support. Go ahead and pay it. So what? Do that. But they don't want to, guys don't want to do it. I know. I listen to everybody. I listen to some of the wrong people. I listen to some of the right people. That's the problem with me. I listen to everybody. I listen to all the groups of people. That's just how I am. Yeah. The wrong white people. James is something else. Hey, let me move on to this extra other part of the story. Let me get to this part. I'm gonna read here. Hold on a second. Hold on. Y'all, something else. This abortion thing is a hot topic, but I think it's going in a better way. So here it is. Thousands protest the end of constitutional right to abortion. The Supreme Court decision on Friday was immediately met with celebration and anger. Crowds gathered in cities like Washington, New York, Atlanta, Los Angeles, as many states enacted abortion bans and clinics stopped offering the procedure. Look who's there. Look who's picture. This is in Washington. There you go. This guy has friends don't let friends vote Republican. Okay. Anyway, so these are the people who are literally fighting to keep these abortions going. There they are. Okay. So abortion rights. Okay, so as Supreme Court reversal of abortion rights sank in among Americans on Friday, protests swelled in Washington, D.C. and in city centers, towns, plazas, parks across the United States. Some were coordinated, some less so. Outside the Supreme Court, a divided crowd that had begun gathering in the day had swelled to thousands of mostly outraged abortion rights demonstrators. By evening, clashing with small groups of joyful anti-abortion activists who blew bubbles and celebrated the end of the federal guarantee of access to a safe and legal means of ending a baby's life. Oh, a pregnancy. I'm sorry. A safe and legal means of ending a pregnancy. All these males out here who are chanting against abortion are enthused and happy, smiling, singing songs, and laughing. It's really disgusting, Victoria Larson, a protester, said, trying to contain her emotions as anti-abortion groups chanted around her. All right, so yeah, people are happy, and they're trying to put the gender war in there, which I hate. The gender war crap, to me, that's the worst thing in human development, because that allows them to kind of manipulate people based on something that doesn't matter. It's about personality types, but that's what they're doing. They don't want you to get they don't want to encourage people to get these abortions. And yeah, they're out there doing it. So that's kind of where I'm at on it. I don't think it's a problem, and it's not going to be the end of the world. These people are still going to be able to get the abortions they want, but it's a little bit more about accountability. You're going to have to take some extra steps. So that's why, if you listen to, I put the Aaliyah song on there earlier, because she had a baby singing in the background, because the bottom line is she looking at the dude, and it's going to be a little bit more of a speculation. People are going to have to take their time a little bit more. People are going to have to value life. If you got options, if you really hate that kid, you do not want that kid. Once that kid is born, I don't know why, just get that kid away. You can get a kid away. Throw him in the system and walk away. That's what you was going to do. But why did the kid need to just die? You can't have the kid just put him in the system and walk away, because you don't want something coming back on you 20 years later saying, why did you leave me? Is that the issue? Nobody wants the accountability. So, I mean, it is what it is, guys. This is what we got going on nowadays. I think it's a balance. I'm going to find this one little clip, but I want y'all to look at this for a second, but I'm going to find this other clip, because hopefully y'all found this movie and look at this entire movie.
This is what happened with slavery. In the early 1800s, as it began to look like the end of it, knew was that the end of slavery would instantly release 4 million people into the economy who had been kept uneducated and effectively unemployable anywhere but the cotton field. And what they were concerned about was that this was going to bankrupt the American economy. Taxes were going to go through the roof to take care of these people. Crime was going to be rampant. The prisons were going to be flooded. There was going to be this population overrun. And in the North, the biggest fear was migration from the South of these black people. The other fear that these people had was intermarriage between blacks and whites would lead to a loss of racial purity. The question was, what were they going to do about it? And their initial thought was that they would just send all the slaves back to Africa. This plan was called colonization, and it had broad support among the wealthy elite. In fact, the American Colonization Society was even funded by the United States Congress. But in the end, colonization proved to be unworkable, and the idea was eventually scrapped. But about that same time, a new philosophy was emerging in the world. It was called eugenics, and for some, it seemed like the perfect solution to what had become known as the Negro dilemma.
I do not join in the belief that the African is our equal in brain or in heart. And I believe that if we can, in any fair way, possess ourselves of his services, we have an equal right to utilize them to our advantage. Francis Galton, 1857.
Francis Galton is known as the father of eugenics. He actually coined the phrase eugenics. So he believed in trying to increase those he felt were superior in stock and decrease those he felt were inferior. Francis Galton came from a very wealthy family, a family that made its wealth from the slave trade. And what a lot of people don't know is that Francis Galton was a cousin to Charles Darwin. Francis Galton took Charles Darwin's philosophies and ideas and thoughts, and he actually put them into practice, and that's what we know today as eugenics. Eugenics and evolution are related in that they both see what they consider to be the highest form of primate, such as the gorilla, as almost indistinguishable from what they consider the lowest form of human, the African and the Aborigine.
At some future period, not very distant as measured by centuries, the civilized races of man will almost certainly exterminate and replace the savage races throughout the world. The break between man and his nearest allies will then be wider, for it will intervene between man and a more civilized state, and some ape as low as a baboon instead of as now between the Negro or Australian and the gorilla. Charles Darwin, 1890.
Charles Darwin is very well known for writing The Origin of Species in the 1800s. This book gave rise to evolutionary theory. What people don't know is that there was actually a longer original title to this book, and that was On the Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection, or the Preservation of Favored Races in the Struggle for Life.
So I'm going to end it off on that. I want y'all to go, if y'all haven't seen this documentary, go see this documentary. Just type it in YouTube. Look at it. That's it right there. Just type that right in. May AFA 21. Go ahead and remember, type that in. Look through it. It's good to know. It's good to know because like I said, this Roe versus Wade, and then also type in the Memoranda 200. I mean, that's when Henry Kissinger put that out. He said it. This guy. He said, we're going to use food as a weapon. There's too many of them. We need to go ahead and cull some of these people. And there's a society out there. There's an entire society. A society means that these people are raised like this. They believe in this stuff, this overpopulation stuff. This is a philosophy these people believe in, that, some groups of people need to be reduced, and it's our job to pick who can live and who can die and all this old silly crap. There's some of these people out here, they believe in that stuff. Some people believe in limiting, they feel that they have some kind of God-given right to pick and choose your thoughts, your family sizes. That's where they get to restrict, and they get to restrict your resources and all this crap. Y'all, like I said, this is stuff that's out here, and that's where a lot of this Roe versus Wade, Planned Parenthood, fume type protests, a lot of these propagandas have been pumped into our society for years and decades, and people believe this stuff when it really is not something that you need to be all into, because you got to think about it. Why, why is it serving you? You don't have to kill your children. If you really, really, really wanted to kill your kids, there's places that you can get that done safely. It's just this not guaranteed by the Constitution. That's it. So some states get to say no, but nowhere is not going to say, they're never going to say there's no place in the United States that you can never do this. There's never going to be a place like that. So what y'all need to, some people need to just kind of chill out. You're not going to ever have a situation where you don't have that option. That option is going to be around if you really, really, really need it. Why do people have this kind of mentality? Why is it so, we must do this. We must do this, disarm ourselves, import immigrants, abort our children. Come on, y'all. That's propaganda. That's all it is. So anyway, yeah, we touched on her a little earlier, Leroy, Margaret Sanger, yep. And they kind of go over her in that documentary too, a little bit. But anyway, I just wanted to put that out there on the Roe versus Wade thing. I think overall, it's not going to hurt actually anybody. It's just going to make everybody think a little bit more. We're going to have to think a little bit more before we get out there and just start willy-nilly, listen to the Aaliyah song. Listen to what she says. Listen to that song that she came up with. And Are You the One? There it is. There it is. Read the lyrics. You gotta be more responsible.